MC versus Sheth, game number 2 going to be on Dual Site, a map that was included in the NASL map pool for Zerg players, but has not been very Zerg friendly. Zergs have won, I think, a grand total of 6 games on Dual Site all season, and they've won something like 18, or they've lost something like 18.
Well, that's significant.
It's been really hard in both ZVT and ZVP. But Sheth still feeling confident here. I do think that this map is much harder for the Protoss player than it is for the Zerg player, in spite of whatever the map statistics might be. No, it's still a really,
of course, I mean, we can't stare too much at statistics. And look at MC, by the way, Ben. He's going for the gateway on the high ground. And I think that's sort of smart in this map, because if Sheth wants to open 3 hatch, like he does in some other guys, sorry guys, just had like some sort of hiccup, was drinking some water, like he likes to do on other maps, or like how most Zergs used to do. Man, you're really distracting me right now.
I'm sorry, that's what it is.
But then it makes a lot of sense, because if MC goes for 1 Zealot and then Chrono boosts out 2 Stalkers or something, he can do a lot, because it takes a very long time before Zerg would have speed if they open 3 hatch. But as you can see, Sheth in the main base is already mining gas. He's even going Speedling first, and now we get a really interesting sort of beta scenario.
Yeah.
It's like Speedling opening against Gate on the high ground.
Yeah, I was thinking the exact same thing. What if this turned into Speedling into versus 3-gate expand? Really... It's been a long time since I've seen a game play out like this.
Yeah, but I think it makes sense on dual side, really, because if Protoss would open 1 Zealot and then Chrono boost out 2 Stalkers, it's very, very tough for Zerg to defend. Certainly a base over here, because this is extremely close. But even at the natural, they're gonna have to make a Spine Crawler, they're gonna have to be very active with their Queen, maybe miss an inject. So I think it makes sense that Sheth is gonna take the easy way out here and is going for Speedling opening.
Yeah, I would agree with you, Kev. And MC, meanwhile, is Chrono boosting out a couple of Zealots and marching across the map. Sheth should have no issue with dealing.
The only thing that MC has to worry about, Ben, is in my opinion, like always the Speedling counter. When you're going to rally out a lot of units and start straight away, if those units get surrounded, and you can get countered by a really big group of Zerglings, then you're going to be in a lot of trouble, because often Warp Gate is not ready yet when the Zerglings run towards your main base. So you only have 1, max 2 units, and it's going to be very hard to keep your wall up.
MC is making a 3rd Zealot. What is he going to do with all this gas?
What you gonna do with all that gas inside your
main base?
That doesn't rhyme, man. So MC is gonna head over to Sheth's natural with his first 2 Zealots. Take a look at Sheth's unit count here. You see that he has 4 Zerglings right now on the map. I have no idea what I want to say. 4 more Zerglings are on their way. These Zealots are doing quite a bit of damage, but nothing for Sheth to really worry about yet. Certainly not with the new and improved Stalker.
That new Queen gonna really show her worth here. The Zealots would be able to deal with the Zerglings pretty easily, but with the new Queen out in play, Sheth gonna be able to dispatch this with minimal losses. Loses the Lings, but keeps a couple alive.
Yeah, I mean, I don't think MC did it all too bad, though. He did kill 4 Zerglings, but he's gonna end up losing this Zealot as well, just at the cost of maybe killing 3 Lings. No, not even that. And this is the moment where, which I mentioned, by the way, Ben, the moment that's kind of scary. He does have that 1 sentry right now. 2nd sentry is almost out, so I guess he's going to be more than just fine.
MC did manage to force quite a few Lings. Sheth on just 22 drones right now because of that, but what can MC do now?
Ooh. Well, MC is so ballsy for force fielding right now. Just wants to keep that pylon alive. You can see Sheth is going to sacrifice the Overlord Band. And we can see that he's already making... oh, the Zerglings, they could have actually streamed up. He's going to try to do it again. Where's the force field? Well, he's full wall off with the sentry. So good job right there by MC, having that sentry on hold position.
Oh, man, MC, he's just like... He really plays with fire, the way that he does this. But it loses the pylon, is not gonna
might actually end up losing the sentry if he doesn't force field real quick. Ah, he will, but he's not gonna end up losing a sentry. So the Zergling is gonna get a great scout off. Well, actually the Overlord saw everything already, but still he picks off a sentry ban, and Sheth must love his position right now. He knows he's still playing against 3 base. Okay, his economy is not insane, but MC kind of gave away that he wants to play an expand style, and we all know this kind of plays back to the old days of Cell Naga Caverns. If Zerg goes all in with a Roachling, it's going to be pretty hard, I think. Well, Sheth is actually expanding once more. But I think if he would have gone Roachling all in, it would have been very scary. Maybe he still wants to do it with speed roaches, but...
Could be. He is getting that layer tech. He's also going double Evo chamber, so that makes me feel like Sheth actually wants to play a fairly normal mid-game revolving around roaches. Dual Site is one of the best maps to play like multi-pronged roach styles on.
Exactly.
Because it's very, very hard for Protoss to get a 30.
Look at this. This Zealot must feel so safe, man. Must be the reason why I'm king of my castle. Look at him. He's so safe. He's like 6 bodyguards. and they will all take a bullet for him.
Yeah,
or
more than one, man. Force field can take many bullets. Or at least reduce the damage. I think that's what you're
This actually is going to be a very annoying push for Sheth. Sheth, who doesn't really have a lot of units on the map. He has 9 Zerglings. He tried to force a cancel over here on the Nexus of MC, but he didn't have enough units for that. Oh, might see a lot of drones getting trapped.
Drones are pulled to fight.
I mean, MC has to be careful too, though. Well, he's actually going to force the ramp up with more queens spawning. MC's going to end up losing all the sentries, man.
Yeah.
He did kill a ton of drones, but I'm not sure if this was worth it.
I'm not sure that it was. He lost a ton of sentries there. Killed 12 drones. The worker tab shows us 33 probes to 25 drones, which is it's pretty good for MC.
Yeah, but is he ready to survive the counter?
But if you look at units lost, it favors Sheth a bit. I do think MC is safe against the counter.
Yeah, it's no. These ain't speed roaches, just starting speed right now, so I think you're right, but he doesn't have a lot of gas. He lost a ton of gas with all the sentries. Sheth is going to try to poke in. Well, the Nexus is actually sort of low on HP, man. Do you think he's going to try to make something happen with all these roaches?
He might. And
do you think he might just try to kill the Nexus?
I don't know if he's going to be able to. Though. Maybe if he kills the Nexus, he's going to lose every single unit in the process. He is going to go ahead and try to focus it, and so we're going to see Sheth fully committed at this point.
He has to move in a bit, because force fields are going to push the roaches away. Sheth, you do not want to end up losing a lot of roaches and then not getting the Nexus. That's exactly what I was afraid for.
Yeah, same here, Kev, and MC does successfully defend. Sheth forced to disengage, at least for now. This, to me, is playing out just like the old days of Zelnaga Cowern's ZVP, where the Protoss player is able to just constantly apply pressure and force so many units that Zerg's never really able to establish that drone count. MC's still ahead in workers. It's 45 probes to 36 drones, and that is dire straits for Sheth, Kev.
I mean, I can understand that Sheth didn't really want to hog the Nexus with those roaches, because that would also mean that he would pretty much guarantee to lose all the roaches, and then maybe he's afraid that A, he can survive the counter, or B, he don't even think it's worth it to lose 7, 8, 9 roaches with the economy that he currently has to pick up the Nexus, which MC could just instantly rebuild. So I can sort of understand it, but if you didn't want to commit to it, I guess you shouldn't have tried to go for it at all.
If he was going to do something like this, I would have preferred like a burrow all-in. Because, I mean, the way that MC's been so aggressive, he had all those sentries, he lost them. He's not really teching up very hard right now. We can see that his Robo is actually just now finishing. Burrow is the same research time as Roach Speed, so Speed is done. Sheth could have had those 2 upgrades right now and done this attack.
Once more, Sheth is going to end up losing 2 roaches, forcing a couple of force fields, but more than enough sentries again for MC. We see Blink being researched as well, so maybe +2 is going to be on the way soon. We're going to have an observer, so I think we're just going to see a Blink Stalker timing, but maybe with 1 or 2 Immortals.
I think it makes a ton of sense right now, Kev, as Sheth is still really reeling. He's not been able to establish that economy. He's at just 52 drones, still forced to make units. MC going to make a Warp Prism. I love the way Protoss players are using the Warp Prism these days as sort of a mobile pylon. It's so much harder to deal with than a proxy pylon.
Sheth is going to try to scout once more into the main base. He gets a good scout off, but I'm not sure if he's too happy with what he saw. I think he saw the Twilight Console. Let me just double check for you guys. Yes, he did. He saw all the gates and he saw the robotics facility as well. So he can kind of puzzle this one together, that he's going to have to deal with Blink Stalkers, and it's going to be very, very tough.
Now, if Sheth can muster the right amount of units, if he can crush this push, he's going to be in a great position. There's not a whole lot coming behind this push for MC. He's not got the robotics bay. He's not taking the 3rd base.
A lot of roaches in the middle of the map. Sheth is going to have to be careful. This is really not a fight that Sheth could win. Blink is not ready yet, though.
Sheth does pick off a Stalker and then bail out. He's trying to get Tunneling Claws to finish. Does MC have an observer?
Yes, he does.
Oh, he does. Where is it? That's on the creep. Seriously.
Oh, Zerglings in the main base. I love it when there are Zerglings in the base.
There's a Zergling in my base, killing about 6-7 probes there in total before MC manages to deal with it. Big push coming, though.
28 roaches, man. There is an infestation pit, but he's not researching Pillaging Glance yet. Perhaps he feels, or maybe even cancel it. He's just going to try to get as many roaches as possible.
This is cool. MC unloading up in the high ground. Blinks up in with the Stalkers, and now he's just going to force field the ramp, and Sheth is going to lose his main base. He does have Tunneling Claws, though. So he could, if he really wanted to commit to it, come up that ramp.
But it is an observer for MC as well, so MC could see this coming. It's a great move from MC. Well, actually it gives him perfect positioning, and it's going to force all these roaches to come through. 2 infestors are on the way right now, Ben, and I think maybe with some fungals anything is possible.
Oh, it's going to be really tough. These roaches are going to take a lot of damage as they tunnel up. MC just going to position, and wow, the roaches heal so fast when they're burrowed.
The infestors are here out. A couple of roaches not fighting yet for Sheth. I really think Sheth maybe pulls everything. Well, there is a warp in pylon as well, but more roaches streaming in. Do you think Sheth can potentially hold?
He might actually hold here. MC, I think, is going to have to
use these units, Sheth.
Wow, really impressive hold here by Sheth. MC's now starting to really blink, though, and with the additional warp-ins, it might get a little bit too tough to handle. 88 supply remains for Sheth. MC up at 103.
Well, army supply is very close, 55 against 51. Of course, Blink Stalkers are awesome in this scenario. And now MC's bringing in the reinforcements as well. He could drop more force fields. Yes, he does.
Pretty good force fields. The Zealot's not really able to fight on him, though. But MC with his position on both the high ground and the low ground, warping in up in Sheth's main base. That was a really cool move. Dropping the sentries on the high ground and then blinking up into the main. I think the Roach Warren's been killed, right? Yeah,
yes,
it has been. So Sheth can only make Zerglings, and that is not going to cut the mustard, Kev.
No, he's too far behind right now in army supply as well. And I really wonder, man, what would have happened if Sheth used that infestor and those 5 roaches straight away. Because I really feel in a scenario like this, that could have made the difference already. 1 fungal, and then actually picking up 4 or 5 stalkers will allow Sheth to just move in the stalkers, and he doesn't have to fight on the distance anymore.
Yeah, maybe if he had been able to fungal the stalkers at a time when they would have wanted to blink, that could have certainly been a big game changer. But as it stands, MC with 2 very, very quick and decisive victories against Sheth. He's going to be able to take this game on dual site. These stalkers just making the most that they are abusing the terrain the most that they possibly can here. And the last of Sheth's units, they are going to melt away, and Sheth will, of course, be forced to GG. MC takes this series 2-0.
MC's Blink Stalker micro is so good as always. And as you said, man, MC does take the first series of the day 2-0 pretty convincingly, even though, man, I wouldn't say that Sheth had no chance.
Yeah, the games were pretty good. I think both times Sheth was in okay positions, but maybe just kind of...
I know, it comes down to a few minor moments, but I still feel like maybe we can take a look at the final fight once more. I'm not even sure if that's possible today, so I might be overwhelming the production crew. But I think they're looking it up with that, because I would really love to see. We saw those 4 or 5 roaches spawned at 1 infestor, and like we all know, if you have roaches against stalkers, if you just kind of fight on a distance, you make it very easy for the Protoss to blink stalker micro. And now we should never make it easy on MC, because he's way too good in it already. So if you want to fight a fight like that, I think if you just grab everything, you fungal, and then you put the roaches like literally in the middle of the stalkers. So as Protoss, you can't even see which stalker is going to get hit, and they're all going to get hit. So it's almost impossible to blink stalker micro properly, even though MC will probably still pull something off. But at least you make it very, very hard for him. And I think if Sheth picked everything at once and then moved in, like let's take another look at this, Ben.
Yeah, Sheth's going to burrow and come up this ramp here in a moment. And down in the bottom left, we can't quite see it just yet, but there is going to be an infestor and a couple of roaches there. And the real question is, had they gotten involved in the fight, had Sheth unburrowed and forced these stalkers to stay clumped, would he have been able to hold? It's a tough call.
And I know that you guys probably maybe think like, wow, there were like 8, 9, 10 stalkers left. That would never make a difference, but it can actually make the difference, because if one thing falls, everything can fall. It's kind of like a domino effect.
Like right, if you clumped, like fungled that clump, or maybe even fungled this clump up here.
Like there we see the units spawn. He's not using those 4 roaches. He's not using an infestor. Like indeed, if you fungal it, you're able to kill these stalkers straight away. Right? Like look at right now, Ben. If he brings everything, and he actually brings everything close to the stalkers.
Yeah, it would have still been a very, very difficult defense, and by no means would it have made the game a win for Sheth. But perhaps he would have been able to hold and then try to muster another force to take it into the later stages of the mid game with. But as it stands, MC a little bit too good today.
I mean, MC was always ahead in supply. At the end of the fight, we shouldn't forget, like Sheth lost straight away like around 20 drones. So the moment it came that close in supplies, it was basically a much bigger army for Sheth. But yeah, not everything was fighting. And as you said, man, it would have still been very close. But I think this being on creep as well, so that it allows those roaches to even be quicker in range with the stalkers, I think that Sheth might have been able to hold. Then again, he still took a lot of damage and lost a lot of drones. None can say he would win the game.
Right.
It would have been very close.
MC takes out Sheth 2-0. That last game brought to you by Azo Monitors. We are going to play a very short commercial. We'll have some words with MC when we get back. And then after that, it's QXC versus Genro. So stick around.